there. Today, I would like to talk to you about social media madness. Depending on who you're listening to, you'll get varying ratios of what mix of content you should post on social media. It could be 80-20, 80% value added content versus 20% promotional, or it could be 40-40-20, 40% branding, 40% expertise, and 20% promotional. Or it could be 60-30-10, 60% lifestyle, 30% inspiration, and 10% promotional. Most of these ratio mixes that you will come across will be between 10 and 20% promotional. So all of these sound good, and all the person giving this advice needs to do to be considered the expert in this advice is to say it with conviction, whether or not it's practical. In a world where social media marketing is in a vacuum, any of these varied content mixes is viable. However, the flip side is when you are doing more than just organic social media marketing, this is where conflict arises. For instance, when it comes to speaking, which is really good for marketing strategy, so you can be selling one-to-many instead of one-to-one, so you can scale your efforts, experts recommend at least 2 speaking gigs per week. Now, if you are successful at getting these speaking gigs, most hosts require that you share the event on social media one or multiple times. If you are adequately promoting these events, that is 2 to 6 times per week that you are actively promoting these events on social media. As there are only 7 days in a week, you now have to post more than 4 times per day to alternate your content in order to keep your content ratio to the 10 to 20% promotional. Posting 4 times a day is not impossible. If you are Gary Vee, then you would have nothing better to do than post multiple times a day or have an assistant post that often for you. But I contest that you can keep your social profile in good standing with just 3 times a week of posting. Because you have a life, and posting on social media is not your only function in life. So you don't have to follow a specific rule. You don't have to be fanatical when it comes to social media content. And you don't have to be a slave to the computer all day, every day, just to make organic marketing work. Secondarily, even if you are promoting a free event, consider that as a value add, because even though you're promoting something, as long as you are not actively selling a paid offer, and as long as the event itself is not a pitch fest, and as long as the event is going to be providing value to the audience, then treat it the same way you would treat posting an article or a great piece of content. Here is another point of insanity. Cultivate relationships with people on social media before getting to the sales pitch. Although that sounds really great, hear me out. Here are my thoughts. Okay, you don't have a big enough audience for social media marketing to work until you have at least 2,000 followers. So first, change your profile to promotional mode or to professional mode, and your friends will become your followers. Then when you use social media marketing, you reach a decent sized audience. People take you seriously. They see you as being successful, and people will actively start wanting to connect with you. Okay. On Facebook, you can have up to 5,000 friends, but you can have unlimited followers. That being said, we only have so much bandwidth to cultivate relationships. So unless you have superpowers or you hired a team of VAs to manage your account, maintaining active relationships with 5,000 people is a bit of a stretch. Okay? If you have a team, then you're not being authentic. You're just keeping up appearances. So being seen by followers will allow you to will allow them to make decisions to follow your content and reach out to you for your services, thereby turning you into a client magnet. Seeking people out can be exhausting if you come across as desperate, salesy, or a pest by constantly reaching out to people. Also, when I was growing up, I never had any friends, but felt like I was supposed to wait for other people to make the first gesture of friendship. Now I realize that if you're going that route, the only only waiting around for others to friend you, then you are setting yourself up for disappointment and failure. By sending people friend requests, you are making the first gesture, but because you're not immediately asking for a sale upon that friend request, then there isn't the downside of being overly eager. And one caveat to that is to make sure to only send friend requests to people that you have people in common with, or you have interests in common with, or you're in the same groups. Therefore, you have a reason to connect with them. Just trying to friend random strangers on Facebook will get you banned, especially if you do it a lot. So that's my 2 cents on that. It'd be kind of impossible to keep up with all of these people in order to actually make these solid based connections with all 5,000 of those people. So stop me if you've heard this one. Stop scrolling on social media. You're wasting your time. You're not making sales. Social media is distracting you from income producing activities. It's a waste of your time. It's depleting you of your productivity. It's detrimental to your success. So what do? You sadly turn away from social media. You pry yourself away from it and say, okay, I got to focus on my business, right? So now you're supposed to take all sorts of expensive, time-consuming courses talking about how to use social media the right way. You don't want to just post promotional content. You want to post things that show your personality, your lifestyle, so people can connect with you. They say to make sure you post often, create content calendars that you adhere to religiously, post frequently to maintain your presence and beat the algorithms. Give up on having a life because you have to constantly be on social media. But it gets worse. Posting is not enough. You have to engage with others, both on your posts and in Facebook groups where your ideal client is hiding. And be sure to interact with others' posts often, and be sure to be authentic, even though at this point you've probably hired a VA just so you can keep up on the demands of your social media marketing, as well as actually working on the fulfillment part of your business. Can you start to see the insanity of this? You are getting pulled away from social media, being told how to do it, and then slowly and meticulously working through all of these things that are telling you basically do all the things you used to do to be authentic on social media. Surprise, surprise. My advice is just do what makes you happy while being active on social media. You want to post a photo of your kids doing something fun because you're living in the moment and genuinely want to share this experience with your friends on Facebook? Do it. You're proud of an accomplishment, feeling badass, and want to post a selfie while in that state? Do it. You want to share photos of some grand adventure, or even just want to share a photo of your favorite meal because you decided to treat yourself? Do it. You can post authentically. You can interact and engage naturally. And when you do, count those as part of your social media quota, if you have one. Make your organic social media marketing truly organic, because the activities are what is going to boost your algorithm. Engaging with your favorite people will make sure those people see your content. Posting like a social media consumer will make you look like one of us, where people embrace you into the fold. Disingenuous activities will be perceived as you being fake. And it's really hard to master not looking fake. So instead of losing your mind and falling into the trap of these insane social media tactics, just be a human being. Enjoy your best life. People will take notice and they'll be attracted to you because people love to be around people that are being their best self. They're going to start following what you do, even if you don't even notice it. Okay, so a couple of different ways to do online marketing is the first one is organic social media. The second one is paid ads. So they say, okay, well, you're going to do one of two different ways. You're going to either do the organic reach or you're going to do paid ads, right? You get a lot of flack and experience a lot of anxiety around the concept of promoting things on social media when you're doing organic social media marketing. So you take a very passive approach. You post a lot of junk that never gets you anywhere. It never gets you any results in the hopes of attracting someone to you that might want to work with you without you being salesy. You may try this for several months, maybe even years, and then give up because you're not getting the results you were seeking. So now you decide to start trying paid ads. You're posting a promotional offer on Google or on a social media platform. And now, just because you're paying for an ad, then all of a sudden you have no qualms in creating a post with a direct call to action, because that's how it's done. That's what's expected when you create an ad. The strategy that I have cultivated through the combination of knowledge, trial and error, and adjusting and perfecting is a combination of these two. So you can post promotional material that will be seen in people's news feeds, but you don't have to pay. So when I say that I have a strategy that is a combination of the two, don't confuse this with another piece of insane advice that I've heard from a Facebook guru, which is to create Facebook ads to get people to join your Facebook group, or boosting posts to get people to like individual posts. This is a waste of money, and there's literally no reason for it. If you run a paid ad, make it either go to a paid offer or a tripwire, which is something that would offer you a freebie, offer people a freebie like a lead magnet, and then upsell them to a paid offer on the back end. That's perfectly fine, because you're going to get a direct return on investment. You don't want to confuse the strategies behind organic marketing with a good ad campaign, because the reason why these are organic marketing strategies is because you're trying to bolster your numbers because you are not using paid ads. But if you're using paid ads, you don't need to use these other strategies over here. This is just a waste of money. That's just going around in circles. So instead, if you have a paid ad, have it go directly to your offer. So you're throwing your money away if you're getting someone to do something for free. For that matter, you don't even need to use paid advertising to get people to a summit if you're hosting a summit. Because if you have speakers speaking at your summit that you're hosting the summit, right? Then you need to focus on making sure that those speakers help you promote it. And for that matter, affiliates are even a great idea, because you only need to pay for the results and not pay upfront. So unless you actually get the sales at the end, you don't have to pay out. So I strongly recommend affiliates as well. But if you want to take advantage of the benefits of paid advertising without the price tag, then I have a hybrid organic marketing approach that makes sense and gets results. So for one thing, make sure you have a large following. This way, when you post, there are actual eyeballs on your posts, because you could be doing everything right in organic marketing. And I mean everything. But if you only have 300 friends, then those are the only people that are going to be seeing your content. Okay. So don't confuse your lack of results with you're doing something wrong, because you just have a too small of a following to generate those results, or even track any activity from all of this stuff that you're doing the right way. Next, prioritize building your mailing list. This will monetize more readily than most social media platforms alone. I recently heard a statistic that somebody was promoting an event on throughout several modes of media, and they got 3 people to sign up for the event by promoting on social media, versus 300 people signed up from their email list. So your whole point of the social media aspect is to try to get people into your email list. And that's where you can nurture that relationship that I was talking about in the beginning, only now it's making a lot more sense and it's actually driving results. Instead of you just spinning your wheels, trying to be everybody's best friend, trying to be a people pleaser, and not getting anything in return. So then the next thing you want to do is you want to have a call to action in most, if not all, of your posts. Yeah, you heard that right. Yes, in direct opposition, in the face of most social media marketers out there, I make a strong stand that you do have to have a call to action in most, if not all, of your posts. As I have established, social media marketers are insane. Most of them make their money by hoodwinking the lesser informed individuals into paying them for their bad advice. And that's why they have no qualms in spending all day on social media. But you have a business to run. So you do you. Make sure you're focusing on your business and not just trying to do all of these insane tactics that the gurus out there are trying to get you to do. So your calls to action can vary, but try to have one call to action in any given post. For instance, one post might be to like and subscribe. One post might be a probing question that asks for people to reply in the comments. One post might be asking someone to share this content to their feed, or with a friend who might benefit. You could post something like, post your most recent selfie in the comments below, and have people post pictures in the comments. Another post might offer a piece of advice, and a call to action might simply be giving something like a piece of homework. Like, for the rest of the day, I encourage you to live in the present and be more mindful in every moment. That's a call to action. Another post can say, DM me if you're interested in blah, blah, blah. And another post can say something like, book a complimentary call with me today, etc. In other words, you don't have to have every post be promoting your paid service. Mix it up, keep it varied, make it fun and entertaining and engaging. Throw in a promotion if you're speaking at an event, and don't worry about it. Don't worry how many posts you've posted that are not promotional just to justify the need to promote something that is timely. Stop allowing these online gurus to take control of your mind. I was in a social media training where the instructor said, don't use Facebook business pages. Business pages are dead. Then someone asked the question, how do I delete my Facebook business page? Come to find out, that person had 20,000 followers on his business page. And just because of the misuse of this advice from this instructor, he was going to basically cut off his own limb to satisfy what he thought was good advice. Obviously, if you have 20,000 followers on your business page, you're doing something right because you can only have a max of 5,000 friends on your personal profile. So now, if you have 4 times as many page followers as you do personal profile friends, then the decreased amount of visibility you're going to have from posting as a page as opposed to your personal profile is negated by the sheer volume of your followers. So my point is, don't just blindly do anything just because someone tells you to. Your case might not fit into this blanket statement. And many times these gurus use hyperbole to drive the point home, like, you must do this or you'll be left behind. I noticed that a lot of them try to convince you that you need to follow their way of doing things so they can justify selling you on their $10,000 program because you've obviously done everything wrong because they've convinced you to give up control over your own social media account. And unless you are a social media expert, a lot of these strategies that they use wouldn't be practical for other professionals, as I was saying before. For example, ever hear of the internet successes that sell you a system that is supposed to bring you success, and yet the only reason that they're successful is because they've sold you this overpriced, under-delivered product? If you want to be more careful and cautious with every friendship you cultivate, that's fine. If you want to be more aggressive with your marketing campaigns because you're an action taker and you want to move the needle more quickly, that's cool too. The success of a lot of online marketing strategies boils down to, what are you comfortable enough with to keep doing consistently? And a little side note there, I didn't say comfortable with, I said comfortable enough. Because some of the things that you're doing might be a little new, they might be a little bit uncomfortable, there might be that learning curve there that you have to get through, but is it comfortable enough for you to keep on doing it? Because consistency is almost more essential than any and all of these other strategies. For example, I know if I make 100 cold calls per day, I can get results. I know that for a fact. I can become successful by doing cold calls all day, every day. Then why don't I do it? It's because I find this style of selling personally soul crushing and ultimately defeating to my psyche. There might be somebody out there who loves cold calling. They might pick up the phone and get excited that they're going to meet somebody new today. And if that's you, hey, cool, more power to you. You do cold calling if that's what you love, okay? Nobody is telling you to stop doing the cold calling and go do the social media marketing instead. In fact, if somebody told you that you should do that instead of cold calling, and that's the only reason why you stopped doing cold calling, then rethink your strategy and take back your mind. Like I said, the only reason why I'm not doing it is because I really, really detest doing it. So you got to find that healthy mix. So I tried cold calling and obviously it didn't work for me. And that's why I moved to social media marketing. If I had a lot of upfront capital, I might be more inclined to go with advertising, simply because I know I can 10x my results as opposed to doing slow, deliberate, non-pushy reach outs on social media. So do what works for you. If you find that something is moving the needle, keep on doing it. Don't give up on something that is actually working just because somebody told you not to. And try to look at your real numbers realistically instead of reaching conclusions based on unrealistic expectations. I hope that you found some insight into my ramblings and rantings about social media madness. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day.